I wasn't invited to my sister's wedding, so instead, I booked myself a vacation. When the whole thing fell apart, my phone lit up like a Christmas tree. Every call, every message was from someone in the family suddenly desperate to get a hold of me. "It's not that serious, sweetheart. It's just a wedding," my mom had the nerve to say. Let that sink in. I was left off the guest list for my own sister's wedding. So I made plans of my own. A few days later, the messages started pouring in from family members who had barely spoken to me in months. I remember sitting there, just staring at my phone, reading the text for what must have been the fifth or sixth time. "Hey, just a heads up, we finalized the guest list and had to make some really hard cuts. Hope you understand. Love you." Hard cuts. Those two words kept echoing in my head like a bad joke. I wasn't some random relative from across the country. I wasn't a forgotten name from a dusty photo album. I was her brother. The same brother who had been there through every late-night breakdown, every messy breakup, every last-minute crisis she didn't know how to handle. And now she was cutting me out like I was just background noise. I looked back down at my phone, that familiar, slow ache blooming in my chest. At first, I thought there had to be some mistake. I even let out a short, confused laugh and hit call on my mom's number. She picked up on the second ring, all cheerful like nothing was wrong. "Hey honey. What's going on?" I didn't bother with small talk. "I just got a message from Mary," I said flatly. "She says the guest list is set, and I didn't make the cut." There was a pause, just long enough to confirm what I was already starting to believe. "Oh, sweetheart," she sighed. She had that tone she always used when she wanted to make me feel like the unreasonable one. "It's just a wedding. Don't blow this out of proportion. Just a wedding." That line burned as it settled in my gut. "Are you actually serious right now?" I asked. My voice was steady, which surprised me. "Mom, I'm her brother. How the hell am I not invited to my sister's wedding?" She made that disapproving little sound with her tongue, the same one she used when I used to argue about bedtime as a kid. "It's not personal," she insisted. "They had to keep the guest list really small and—" "Mom," I interrupted. "I just saw Mary's Instagram. She invited 150 people." Silence. Then came the awkward laugh. "Well, you know how it is. Weddings cost a lot. Maybe they just figured you wouldn't mind skipping this one." Her words hit like a gut punch. "Wouldn't mind?" I repeated, stunned. "I've been there for Mary through everything. I helped her move, twice. When she got fired, we helped pay her rent. I was the one who picked her up off the floor after her last breakup. And now I'm not even worth a chair at her wedding." "Oh, stop being so dramatic," she sighed again, like she couldn't be bothered. "It's just one day. You're overreacting." I laughed, but it wasn't a real laugh. It was one of those bitter ones that sneak out when your chest is tight and your throat's burning. "Overreacting, huh?" I already knew how this would play out. I'd argue, she'd dismiss me. Mary would eventually send some half-baked apology, penibly typed out between sips of wine. And everyone would expect me to let it go, again. Because that's what I always do. Not this time. Something inside me just snapped. If I didn't matter enough to be included, then I sure as hell wasn't going to hang around like I did. I ended the call without saying goodbye, opened up my browser, and started looking for flights. If I wasn't going to be welcome at the wedding, I was going to be somewhere better, somewhere sunny, quiet, and far away. And the more I thought about it, the angrier I got. I'm not someone who throws a fit over every little thing. I've let a lot slide in the past. Mary forgot my birthday more than once. She only ever called when she needed a favor. And Mom always expected me to be the one who kept the peace. Mary could get away with anything. But this? This was a whole new level of disrespect. There was no way I was going to sit at home feeling sorry for myself while they played perfect little family without me. If I didn't matter enough to be included, then I didn't matter enough to be there when the drama hit the fan either. I grabbed my laptop and booked the nicest getaway I could find. If Mary was going to have the time of her life, then so was I. It didn't take long to plan. I reserved a suite at a 5-star resort in the Caribbean, ocean view, spa package, private beach, the whole deal. I'd always told myself something like that was too expensive. Not this time. This wasn't just a vacation. It was a declaration. By the time their wedding weekend rolled around, I was already buckled into a first-class seat, sipping champagne and stretching my legs. I snapped a photo, feet up, drink in hand, and captioned it. "Guess I didn't make the guest list. Think I'll survive." The responses came fast. A few cousins sent laughing emojis. My aunt, the only one in the family with a shred of common sense, commented, "Good for you. Should have taken me with you." But the best response? That came from my mom. 3 texts, one after the other. "Mom, where are you? Are you seriously missing your sister's wedding over this? You're being petty." Petty? Oh, I wasn't even getting started. I sent back a picture of the beach, pure white sand, that surreal crystal blue ocean, and a view that looked like something off a travel brochure. Then, without giving it a second thought, I shut my phone off. I wasn't about to let them reel me back in with guilt trips or dramatic texts. Not this time. For the first time in what felt like forever, I wasn't putting my family's feelings above my own. This time, I chose me. And honestly, it felt amazing. By the time I landed in paradise, any leftover guilt had completely evaporated. The moment I stepped out of the airport and felt that warm, salty breeze hit my face, carrying the scent of the ocean and some kind of tropical flowers, I knew I'd made the right call. A private car was waiting for me at the curb. A sleek black SUV, spotless inside, with chilled towels and glass bottles of water waiting in the back seat. Yeah, this was 1,000 times better than sitting awkwardly at a wedding where I was clearly never wanted. As we cruised along the coast, I found myself reflecting on just how right it felt to be here. Back home, they were penelably scrambling around, putting the finishing touches on the big day. My mom was no doubt spinning some story to explain why I wasn't there, penelably something vague, like I had a last-minute conflict. Mary was likely laughing with her bridesmaids, sipping mimosas, not sparing me a single thought. But here, I wasn't invisible. Here, I mattered. I was the priority, for once in my damn life. The resort looked like something out of a dream. The lobby alone was breathtaking, giant palm trees growing inside, open-air architecture that let the breeze sweep right through, and a staff so attentive they handed me a cocktail before I even gave my name. And the room? Absolutely unreal. Floor-to-ceiling windows, a private balcony overlooking the water, and the biggest, most luxurious king-size bed I'd ever seen. I tossed my bag down, walked straight out to the balcony, and just soaked it all in. Then, just to stir the pot a little, I snapped a shot of the view and posted it with a cheeky caption. When one door closes, another opens, hopefully to a beachside suite with bottomless margaritas. I knew someone would show it to my family eventually, and truth be told, I wanted them to see it. Maybe then they'd get a small taste of what it felt like to be excluded. And this? This was just the beginning. The first full day was pure bliss. I kicked things off with room service, fluffy pancakes, tropical fruit so fresh it was practically glowing, and a cup of coffee so smooth it ruined every Starbucks run I'd ever had. And from that moment on, I did whatever the hell I felt like. No obligations. No drama. No family chaos. Just me, the ocean, and a schedule that revolved around my own happiness. By the afternoon, I was stretched out on a sunbed beside the infinity pool, martini in hand, watching waves roll in like background music. Every so often, I'd glance at my phone, not to check in with anyone back home, but to see the reactions to my latest vacation photos. The comments were priceless. Cousin Matt. Bro, where even are you? Aunt Stacy. Okay, now you're just showing off. Some old college buddy chimed in. Dude, next time, take me with you. Then came the notification that made me grin. Mary saw your post. Well. I could picture it vividly, her sitting in some bridal suite, sipping cheap champagne, scrolling through her phone, and suddenly stumbling across a photo of me living my best life while she was sweating over centerpieces and vows. Good. I leaned back in my chair, took another slow sip of my drink, and thought to myself. Enjoy your big day, sis. I hope it's everything you wanted. But just as the sun started dipping toward the horizon, something unexpected happened. My phone began blowing up. At first, I ignored it, figured it was just more notifications from Instagram, more likes, more laughing reactions. But then I saw the names. Mom, Mary, Matt, even Uncle Neil. Call after call. A flood of texts. One after another. I raised an eyebrow and finally picked up the phone. The first message was from my mother. Mom, call me. It's an emergency. An emergency? At the wedding? I actually chuckled, shaking my head. I hovered for a second, wondering if I even cared. Then another message popped in, Matt again. Matt, dude. You are not gonna believe what just happened. Okay, now I was interested. I sat up straighter and started scrolling through everything. And what I read next. It was the greatest wedding gift the universe could have possibly delivered. Because apparently, Mary's picture-perfect wedding had just gone up in smoke. Message after message flooded in, each one juicier than the last. Matt, bro. You dodged AF ***ing bullet ***. Mom, call me right now. This is serious. It's a family crisis. Mary, please. Where are you? I need you. I sank back into my lounge chair, took another sip of my cocktail, and kept reading. And then I saw the one message that made me laugh out loud, so hard I nearly spilled my drink. Melissa, the groom left. Just walked out. Wait, what? I blinked at the screen. The groom bailed? Oh, this was even better than I could have imagined. Curiosity finally got the best of me. I shot Matt a text. Me, what do you mean he left? Matt, dude. During the reception. Total meltdown. Matt filled me in. He and Mary had gotten into some huge blowout argument, and right in the middle of the reception, the groom just walked out. Straight up left the venue without a word. Then came the kicker. Uncle Neil and Dad apparently erupted into a full-on shouting match over who was responsible for tarnishing the family's good name. Grandma started crying, and the venue shut down the open bar early just to get control of the chaos. It was an absolute train wreck. I leaned back into the lounge chair, the smallest smirk tugging at the corner of my mouth. My sister had made the very clear decision that I wasn't needed. She'd excluded me entirely, like I was some disposable distant cousin, not her brother. And now, I was suddenly the first person they all came running to. I could already hear my mother's voice in my head, full of fake urgency and guilt. You need to fix this. Mary is heartbroken. Yeah, no thanks. Next message popped up. It was from Mary herself. Pick up your phone, please. I really need you. Oh, now I was important. I took a deep breath, my fingers hovering over the keyboard for a second. Then I typed out a simple response. Sorry, I'm a little busy enjoying my overreaction. Hope the wedding was fun. And with that, I blocked her number. Then I blocked my mom's. And just for good measure, I added Matt to the list too, because I knew if anyone could be guilted into being their little messenger boy, it was him. After that, I flipped my phone to do not disturb, waved the bartender over, and ordered another drink. While they were all spiraling back home, I was living it up in paradise. And for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel bad about it. The next morning, I woke to the sound of waves gently breaking against the shore. That sweet mix of ocean breeze and blooming tropical flowers floated through the open balcony doors. I stretched, yawned, and for a peaceful, perfect minute, I actually forgot about the disaster unfolding back home. Almost. Then I checked my phone. Even with most of my family blocked, I had over 20 missed calls from unfamiliar numbers. They were clearly trying every route they could think of to get through to me. A few voicemails slipped past the filters. Against my better judgment, I tapped on the first one. It was my mom, voice high and frantic. I don't know what game you think you're playing, but this is not the time for one of your tantrums. Your sister is devastated. We need you here. This family needs to pull together. I rolled my eyes and deleted it. Next voicemail, Mary, her voice cracking. I don't get why you're doing this. You're my brother. I need you. Please call me. Click. Deleted. The third one. That one made me laugh out loud. It was Matt, whispering like he was hiding in a supply closet. Dude. Just a heads up, Mom and Aunt Stacy are planning to ambush your apartment when you get back. Grandma's convinced the wedding was cursed because you weren't there. It's kind of hilarious. Okay, that one. I saved. I tossed the phone on the bed and stepped out onto the balcony. The sun was just beginning to rise, casting gold across the ocean waves. I closed my eyes and took a long breath, letting the warmth settle into my skin. Back home, they were knee-deep in damage control. Me. I was standing in a bath meal, sipping fresh espresso, basking in the aftermath of the best decision I'd made in years. And the sweetest part? They were finally getting a taste of what it felt like to be on the outside looking in. Unseen. Unwanted. Left out. There was something poetic about it, really. But I wasn't done twisting the knife just yet. I grabbed my phone, snapped a photo of my breakfast, pancakes that looked like they came from a cooking show, vibrant fruit piled high, and a mimosa so bright it practically glowed. Caption. Starting my day stress-free. Hope everything's going okay back home. I grinned, sifted through my blocked messages just for fun, chuckled at the pile of missed calls, and ordered another mimosa. I had no intention of calling them back. Let them clean up their own mess. I was on vacation. By midday, I was lounging under a shaded cabana, a colorful drink in my hand, a little paper umbrella poking out the top. That's when my phone buzzed again. It was a message, from Melissa. Melissa, okay, I know you're pissed. And honestly, you have every right to be. But you've got to hear what happened after the wedding. Call me. You're gonna love this. My eyebrows lifted. Alice had always been the one cousin with a functioning brain. If she said I needed to hear something, it was penalably worth the call. So, against my instincts, I dialed her number. She picked up on the first ring. Oh my God, you finally answered, she said, practically buzzing. Okay, are you sitting down? I glanced around at the private cabana I was sprawled out in, the endless ocean stretching out before me, the icy drink still in my hand. Yeah, I said with a lazy grin. I think I'm in a pretty solid position for whatever this is. Alice let out a breathless laugh. Okay, so after the groom bailed, Mary completely lost it. I'm talking full meltdown, screaming, crying, throwing stuff at the wedding party. It was wild. I smirked. Sounds about right. She kept going, her voice practically glowing with secondhand embarrassment. Everyone was trying to calm her down, and then Mom overheard Aunt Stacy say something so insane. If you'd been there. I blinked. Wait, what? Alice chuckled on the other end. Yeah. Aunt Stacy said you've always been the one who keeps things from going completely off the rails when Mary has one of her meltdowns. That if you'd come to the wedding, you penalably would have talked the groom down or somehow fixed everything, like you always do. I burst out laughing. Hold on. So let me get this straight, the same people who deliberately left me off the guest list are now blaming me because I wasn't there to save the day. Oh, it gets even better, Alice said, clearly enjoying the retelling. Your mom snapped at Stacy for saying that, called her ridiculous, and then they started shouting. Grandma got involved too. She said Mary basically cursed her own wedding by cutting out her brother. I nearly choked on my drink. She what? I swear, Alice was wheezing with laughter now. Grandma lectured her, in front of everyone, saying, if you had treated your family with respect, you wouldn't be standing there alone in your wedding dress. I leaned back, grinning. That's, honestly beautiful. Alice wasn't finished. Oh, and your mom tried to reach out to the groom's family to patch things up, and his mom just smiled and said, that sounds like your penalum now. I had to set my drink down, I was laughing so hard I nearly spilled it. So, I asked, still catching my breath, where does that leave Mary now? Alice sighed. Still crying. Still blaming everyone but herself. Last I heard, she was scrambling to salvage the whole thing with some kind of plan B. But let's be real, this wedding is toast. I shook my head, still smiling. You know what the best part is? What? I took a long, slow sip from my drink. I genuinely don't care. Alice howled with laughter. God, I don't blame you. Honestly, I just thought you'd appreciate knowing karma came through for once. Oh, I do, I said, smirking. Thanks for the update, Melissa. No penalum. Enjoy your trip. And for the record, you did the right thing. We hung up, and I sat there more satisfied than I'd felt in years. They wanted a wedding without me. Fine. That's exactly what they got, and it crumbled without me lifting a finger. I raised my glass toward the open sky and toasted to the single best decision I'd ever made. Then I turned off my phone and melted back into the cabana, letting the breeze blow away whatever scraps of guilt were still clinging to me. For the rest of that day, I didn't check a single message. I booked a sunset cruise, felt the ocean wind tangle in my hair, and wrapped the night with the best steak of my life beside the sea. At some point, I briefly wondered if I should feel sorry for Mary. But then I remembered how easy it had been for her to leave me out. Yeah. No. I sipped my wine, took one last shot of the view, and posted it with one final caption. 0 regrets. Satisfied, I shut my phone off again. Let them stew. I was finished being their backup plan, their fixer, their invisible support system. The next morning, I woke up lighter than I've felt in years. No guilt. No tension. No last-minute family drama I was expected to clean up. Just me. And the sound of waves brushing against the shore. I stretched, ordered room service, and, out of curiosity, turned my phone back on. Big mistake. The flood came instantly. Mom, stop acting like a child. Call me now. Mary, I can't believe you're doing this to me. You're so selfish. Mom again, this isn't funny. Mary is devastated. Do you even care? Unknown number, Penelope and Aunt, we need to fix this family before it's too late. I groaned. It was actually impressive how quickly they pivoted from excluding me to expecting me to come back and fix everything. And then one message caught my eye. It was Alice again. Melissa, okay, I know you're ignoring everyone, but FYI, your mom's trying to organize a family discussion when you get home. Just giving you a heads up. I laughed, actually laughed out loud. They really thought I'd just come back, smile politely, and let them guilt me into pretending none of this ever happened? Yeah. No chance. I texted Alice back. Me, thanks for the heads up. But I won't be there. A beat passed. Melissa, wait, what do you mean? Me, I'm extending my trip. They wanted to cut me out. Fine. I'm cutting myself off, permanently. I could almost picture her blinking in surprise, trying not to grin. A second later, she replied. Melissa, okay, that's kind of iconic. Tell me everything when you get back, whenever that is, lol. I smirked, set my phone down, opened my laptop, and clicked through the resort booking page. With just a few taps, I added another week to my stay. No family. No expectations. No forced apologies. Just me, the ocean, and peace they never once allowed me to have. And the best part? There wasn't a thing they could do about it. Before heading down to the beach, I sent out one final text, to Mom and Mary. Me, oh, now you want me around. Sorry, I'm too busy enjoying my overreaction. Good luck cleaning up your own messes. Then, for the very last time, I blocked their numbers. I set my phone aside, ordered another drink, and let the sun warm my skin. No guilt, no tension, no regrets. Just peace. And honestly, that was the best decision I've ever made.